Let's take a look at how to graph a line in slope-intercept form. The equation of a line in slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Remember that we can think of slope as rise over run. Thus, when we're given an equation to graph, for instance, y equals 2x plus 3, we can look at the general form of a line in slope-intercept form in order to find the slope and the y-intercept. Let's rewrite the general form, y equals mx plus b, and make sure that everything lines up just as it should. Notice that both equations start with y equals. Both have a number being multiplied by an x, with another number being added at the end. Therefore, this equation that we were given is in slope-intercept form. Now we need to identify the slope and the y-intercept in order to graph it. Always make a list to show what your slope and your y-intercept are. Remember that the slope is m, so this is where we find the slope in our general form of the equation. Since we've written the general form underneath the equation that we're working with, we can easily identify the slope as 2. The other thing that we need is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is represented by the variable b. Since we've put our equation in the proper form, we can easily see that the number in the b location is 3. So the y-intercept is 3. Now that we've identified the slope and the y-intercept, we have enough information to graph the line. As you graph the line, the thing that you want to begin with is the y-intercept. This gives you a starting location for your line. The y-intercept is 3. Remember that the y-axis is the vertical axis and the x-axis is the horizontal axis. So when we refer to the y-intercept, we're talking about the location where the line touches the vertical or y-axis. The y-intercept is 3, so I'm going to count from the origin on the y-axis 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and put a point there. This is the y-intercept. We found that the slope is 2. Remember that we can think of the slope as a rise over a run. Well, 2 is not written as a fraction right now. It's just a whole number, an integer. We can always write any number as a fraction by putting it over 1. This does not change the value. So we can rewrite 2 as 2 over 1. I always like to write the definition, or this definition of slope, right next to it so that I can remember what this means. 2 over 1 represents a rise over a run. This means that from any point on my line, to find another point, I can rise 2 and then run, or go over, 1. So let's do that. From this point right here, since this point is on the line, to find another point on the line, I can rise 2 and run 1. This gives me the location of another point on the graph of the line. From this point, I can find another point on the line using the same slope. I can rise 2 and run 1. And I can do this as many times as I'd like to. Rise 2, run 1. On the first couple times that you do this, you may find it helpful to draw some arrows. For instance, you can rise 2, draw an up arrow going 2, and run 1. Draw an arrow going over to the right 1 to help you understand that the slope is a rise over a run. Generally, in your finished product, though, you don't want to have those arrows on your line. You just want to have the line itself. To graph the line, you will want to use a straight line, a ruler to help you make this line. Line up the ruler with each of the points so that it goes through each of them, and make a straight line through all of the points. Now the thing you should understand about a line is that it goes on forever in both directions, and to help demonstrate this, we put arrows at the end of the line. This means that the line doesn't necessarily stop at these locations, but if I wanted to find a point down here somewhere, the line is still going to extend as far in both directions as possible. Remember, when graphing a line, you need to identify two things. First, the slope, then the y-intercept, then use the concepts that we just covered to graph.